Hey everyone, it's Cameron from Anime Chat Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2018 series of Baki. I hope you enjoy. In Baki's world, there's only one thing that matters: strength. You have to be strong in order to survive and be the best, even if that means challenging your rival to a fight to the death on a moving roller coaster. This sounds pretty bonkers, doesn't it? Well, strap in because Baki only gets wilder from here. 2018's Baki series picks up directly after the 2001 series Baki the Grappler. For any fans of the manga, this series is an adaptation of the Most Evil Death Row Convicts arc. However, this anime can be watched without needing to have seen the previous series, but by golly does it help. It would be like jumping into Dragon Ball Z without any knowledge of Dragon Ball.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Not a difficult thing to do, but you wouldn't really know who the characters are when they show up. Let's get straight to the plot. 5 of the world's most dangerous criminals and masters of the dark martial arts have escaped their prisons and have independently made their way to Japan in hopes of finding someone capable of defeating them. That someone is, of course, Baki, the newly crowned martial arts champion and son of the strongest creature on earth, Yujiro, who is his own sovereign nation. A man who world leaders sign peace treaties with in hopes of being left alone. The man that Baki is training to defeat. This means, of course, that Baki is a deadly and talented fighter, with superhuman abilities thanks to his father's training and the help of his friends, who are world-renowned martial arts masters. Despite this, Baki is a bit of a hapless idiot outside of the ring, which makes him much more endearing and likable. Upon arriving in Japan, these criminals set up a 5-on-5 death battle between them, Baki, and Baki's friends. There is only one rule in this game of survival: win. All this adds up to some brutal and awesome fight scenes, modelled off actual martial arts and amplified for the ridiculousness of Baki. The thing I really enjoyed about Baki was the action. It was freshly intense and clearly designed with a reverence to the styles of fighting it represents. Actually, this show at times feels like a modern and steroid-fueled Fist of the North Star, as it's savage, over-the-top, needlessly complicated, and very messy. Unfortunately, this series is its own worst enemy, as it cuts into action for long, multiple-minute explanations of single moves or moral conversations about the nature of a battle. This cannibalizes the flow of the fight scenes and gives us the Dragon Ball Z treatment, as a fight that should take a few minutes can span up to 3 episodes in the 26-episode series. Adding to this huge misstep is the inexplicable and wholly unnecessary CGI they use for seemingly no reason during this series. It happens in dialogue scenes, fight scenes, and even when characters are static. Some fight scenes are painstakingly 2D animated for an entire episode, then suddenly it feels like you're watching someone play Tekken on PS2. Then it will jump back to 2D animation for the following episode. These cuts are harsh. The effort simply isn't there and seriously damages the series as a whole. This is at its most egregious in episode 11 and 12, but the use of CGI does drop dramatically after these episodes, so you have been warned. Perhaps the worst part of this design choice is due to the fact that the art style in Baki is great. The characters are extremely well designed and the style itself is distinct. The animation is smooth and it really shows the impact of each attack thrown by the characters. This is why it sucks so much to see the series hurt itself with terrible CGI. This is somewhat forgivable if the models looked like they had any effort put into them at all, but sadly they do not. To shy away from bagging on this series, let's focus on some positives, like the soundtrack. The soundtrack in Baki is great, that's really it. The characters each have a theme associated to them, and it is woven into the battle theme as they engage each other throughout the series. This is a great touch, and it really helps with the viewer's immersion as you can feel the characters warring with each other through the music tracks. I also want to shout out the Foley artists for this show, as some of the sounds are downright disgusting. They definitely sound like breaking bones and tearing flesh. So congratulations, I think. The openings of Baki, of which there are 2, are both great. However, the second opening is by far the superior in style, animation, and music. It really gets you pumped up and does a much better job of telling you what the series will be. The closings are both completely forgettable. However, the second closing has a great song that unfortunately doesn't match the animation at all. Baki had a lot of factors pushing and pulling it in different directions. Unfortunately, it is unable to reconcile any of its faults in a meaningful way. So with that, I'm giving 2018's version of Baki a C. I fundamentally enjoyed Baki as a concept, but it has a lot of elements working against it despite doing a lot right. The story is basic, but that is ultimately the thing that can be easily forgiven. Baki and his friends fight bad guys. That's literally all anyone needs as a setup, so it really can't be faulted on that front. The characters are memorable and distinct, each getting a lot of screen time and character building scenes. Unfortunately, this comes at a cost of slowing down the fluid and often well animated fight scenes. Baki, despite this, is a series that is full of potential and it has some genuinely standout moments. Martial arts fans and 80s action movie nerds will find something to love in this series, but as far as mainstream appeal goes, it just can't stand up against everything else. The series is at its undeniable worst in episode 11 and 12, but it does manage to work its way back on track quality-wise. But sadly, despite this, Baki ends on an unsatisfying conclusion and a lackluster tease for a future season. Ultimately, it does not continue the high-octane story of the previous incarnations, and it stumbles its way to the finish line. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I would be honoured if you liked our video and subscribed to our channel, as it really helps us out. And hopefully we see you all again in the next video. See ya!